everybody, welcome back to Daytime. With me now on the Daytime couch is Claudiu Popa. He is a risk advisor with knowledgeflow.ca, and you wear a lot of other hats as well.
I do.
How many other businesses are you involved in right now?
Just one, really. It's
Okay.
Informatica.
Okay, and Informatica does which?
It does security and privacy consulting for medium and large companies.
Okay, and then knowledgeflow.ca, is that the right website?
KnowledgeFlow is an initiative
Okay.
that I started, and yes, it is knowledgeflow.ca. It's meant to educate the people that are most vulnerable in our society and our communities.
Yep.
So the motto is hack-proof your community.
Okay, good.
So
let me ask you something, because you are sort of the face that people don't want to see, but when they do see are happy because you're solving the issues that they've caused themselves. How do people online make sure that they, first of all, do not get or are not susceptible to identity theft?
Well, the issue is that a lot of people have this misunderstanding that staying off of social media networks is going to keep them safe, when that's not true. The social media networks at least are an aggregator for that information, so you know where it happens to be, where it could be stolen from. So if in fact you choose to put misinformation on there and somebody happens to call you and say, hey, Mr. David something, then you know where that misinformation came from and you know how it was leaked. So there are ways to use social media to protect yourself.
Yep.
In that sense, obviously, we were talking about Facebook.
Yeah.
We're talking about Twitter and a variety of other social media networks. They're portrayed as systems that allow you to connect with your friends and preserve your privacy, but that's not true. Obviously,
Right.
we all know they're for sharing information, they're for sharing pictures, they're for sharing how you feel at this particular instant.
Yeah.
And they're obviously going to have people who share when they're on vacation, what their house looks like, what the latest television set that they just bought looks like, and where it is in the room.
What their cell phone is even. I'm
That's
always
right.
shocked when people leave their personal information just laying around on Facebook.
That's right.
Are seniors susceptible to identity theft? Because I know a lot of teenagers, 20-somethings, 30-somethings are using the internet a lot. But are seniors who don't use the internet as much susceptible to identity theft?
They are susceptible to fraud in particular. So
Okay.
cyber fraud, real world fraud, there's now a completely blurred line between them. So as you may have heard, they're getting calls on weekends, they're getting calls in the evenings, they're being told that one, it's their grandchildren calling and they need an emergency transfer of money.
Yeah.
Two, they might be spamming the internet and they need to get to their registry right now and make these changes, and that'll make Microsoft stop calling.
Right.
And these people are particularly aggressive. So obviously they do a bit of research. They do target senior citizens. They do target older adults. And yes, they are at risk from a fraud perspective, because if they can extract money either in one fell swoop or over time by gaining their trust, this is how they operate. So not necessarily identity theft in the sense that they're going to take their identity and misrepresent them somewhere, although they can, and they can apply for mortgages and a variety of other things. But right now, the ability to tap into their bank accounts and to tap in their pool of trust is really what's being exploited. And it's being exploited on a large scale. I did some research on this, and it's happening on a per continent basis.
Wow.
So it's the same callers that use the same script that call Australians that now are happening to be targeting Canadians.
Yeah. Well, if it worked once, they're going to try it twice until it stopped.
Systematize it is what they're doing.
One of the things I like about you is your business works with people on recovering and sort of rebuilding. But you also offer workshops on preventative actions. You have a workshop coming up in Stouffville, I believe.
That's right.
What will be taking place there?
Well, there's a series of seminars happening in Stouffville, and one of them in particular is for small businesses to protect themselves online. So business risk as a result of social media in particular, reputation management, that kind of stuff. A lot of businesses are hopping onto the bandwagon, imagining that social media is free, which obviously it isn't. It takes effort and it takes an understanding of what it means to put quality content on there. And at the end of the day, if you put too much information, you get corporate identity theft, which is a whole issue in and of itself.
Yeah.
But there's a whole series of seminars that the town is promoting that are taking place at the library. March 14th, by the way, is Stouffville Youth CyberSafety Day, which is a fantastic thing that the mayor agreed to support. And we're doing this seminar at 10 a.m. on March 14th, and we're going to have kids in there. We're going to have lots of swag from the privacy commissioners that we're giving away.
Swag is how you keep them interested, by the way.
It's true. You got to use the right terminology, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So if you've seen the flyers, if you go to the website and you see the flyers, you'll see the language that we're using about keeping trolls and creeps at bay.
Look at you, right?
You got to do these things.
You got to do these things.
Absolutely.
When people have a small business and they're operating with their email lists and a lot of other things to keep their businesses afloat, I suspect that sometimes employees can go rogue and take that information. Is that accurate as well?
That's right. And the claim of ignorance is always used. So when, for businesses small and large, equally, you end up in court with a lot of these employees and you say, well, did you not realize that was part of the information asset base of the company? What are you doing? You're taking off with it. Well, I didn't know. I thought that because I had talked to these people over the past 4 years, they would be my friends. And so I took the entire database when I left. And by the way, I took the server passwords as well because there are no policies and nobody told me to do this. And so these are all arguments that can be made if you don't have strong policies, if you don't tell people the kind of information that is most valuable to you, which, by the way, Rogers does a great job, and it's posted up on the wall by the entrance and so on. I'm sure that I could test you on it.
The good people,
really
the big red machine, always make sure we do things properly.
That's right. That's right. They are on a red background.
Yes.
So, and I did take pictures of them as they came in. So.
Good. Okay, so for people at home who are watching who have suffered with identity theft, where do they go for more information?
They go to knowledgeflow.ca and they send an email to register@knowledgeflow.ca. We monitor it, we reply in person, and they can come to those free seminars anytime.
All right, take a look at that smiling face, kids. He'll keep you safe. Karen Addison from the Character Community Foundation up next. Don't go anywhere.